There are 5 things you need to stop adding to your dog's homemade diet. If you make your own dog food, you will think that you know better. However, these are 5 things we see all the time that people put in their dog's diet that have no place in it. And some of them, like the 5th one, is very controversial, so stay tuned until the end of the video to find out which one it is. Now let's get straight into it. The first one is salmon oil, and this is so widely available and so popular among people who make their own dog food or who buy whatever brand of dog food and they buy salmon oil separately. Now do not get me wrong, salmon oil is something really good. It possesses omega-3s, anti-inflammatories. It's a really good addition to your dog's diet. The main problem we see with salmon oil is that as soon as you open it, it goes rancid. So if you have it in a cupboard, sat there for 2 or 3 weeks or even longer, it is going to defeat the purpose of you adding this supplement, because at the end of the day, what we want to provide our dogs with is something fresh and not something that is rancid or that is out of date. So instead of using salmon oil that will go rancid as soon as you open the bottle, what you can do is give your dog sprats, oily fish, or even salmon or salmon skin. So we always prefer giving our dogs the real deal, the actual food, as opposed to the supplement, because yes, supplements can be good, but on this occasion we want to go for the real deal. So always choose food before supplement. The second one is bone. Now this is a very big topic. In the bone world, there are many different bones, and you need to know about them all. I mean, different bones do different things. And if you are making your dog's food, what you need to be thinking is, I shouldn't give my dog more than 10% of the overall diet, so my dog doesn't get any sensitivities or any runny tummies. Now, this is a really big one. People will either underfeed bone or overfeed bone, and they will not take bone into account of the overall dog diet. And so what I want you to do is assess the different bones you give your dog. You see, a chicken drumstick and a chicken wing proportionally do not have the same meat to bone ratio. So if you are thinking about giving your dog any extra bone, anything extra to their diet, you must account for that extra bone into your dog's overall calculation. Because if you fail to do so, what you are doing is creating imbalances, and any imbalances you create in your dog's food is going to result in constipation or other serious health issues. So before you give your dog a knuckle bone or before you give your dog a big ostrich bone, what I want you to do is analyze the whole diet and to check that what your dog is consuming doesn't go beyond 10% of their overall diet, if you do not want any problems whatsoever. The third one is another really big one, and this is liver or any other offal. Especially with liver. Liver is a superfood. Any organs are superfoods, and they are so beneficial to your dog's diet. They are packed with vitamins and minerals, and they contain so many nutrients that are so valuable for your dog. But a lot of the thing we see with people who make their own dog food is that they include a lot of organ meat and they include extra liver because their dogs love liver or they love all these little organs. But again, creating imbalances in your dog's diet is only going to result in bad tummies and runny stools. So what we want to do is limit the amount of liver we give our dog to maybe 5% and not go beyond 5%, because if we do, we will have a bad surprise. And by the way, if you are keen on making your own dog food, we have come up with a recipe book that is packed with different recipes and that has simplicity in mind. Anybody can make their own dog food, but you have to do it properly, and in order to do it properly you have to have the measurements right. We have taken all the complexity out of the equation and put it into this book, and you can click in the link down below to get it. The fourth one is another controversial one, and this is raw vegetables. Now, so many people feed vegetables to their dog, and so many of you are doing it incorrectly. You see, when me and you eat fruit or vegetables, we can start breaking them down in the mouth because we have the enzymes to do so. However, our dogs do not have these enzymes. So by you providing your dog with raw veggies, your dog is not able to break them down in their mouth. Anytime you feed raw vegetables to your dog, you aren't actually feeding the dog's gut because your dog is not able to break these down. So there are 2 or 3 ways to give your dog the nutrients and the vitamins from raw vegetables. They are called polyphenols. You can lightly cook them or flash cook them, maybe for say 10 or 15 seconds on a pan, or you can puree them and then mix it with their food. Now, in order for our dog to get the most out of vegetables, these shouldn't go above maybe 5 to maybe 10% of their overall diet, because we want to give our dog more meat than anything else. And for people who think that raw carrots or raw broccoli is good for your dog's dental health, well, I hate breaking it to you, but dogs can't actually break down these starches in their mouth because they don't have an enzyme called amylase. So they aren't actually getting any benefit. It's a lot better to give your dog a bone or any other natural chew. But raw vegetables in your dog's diet, it's a bit of a no-no really. The fifth one is wet food. Now, do not get me wrong. I love variety and I love moisture in your dog's food. Your dog's pancreas, your dog's liver, your dog's kidneys will thank you for adding extra moisture to your dog's diet. Wet food is an absolutely wonderful addition to any dog's diet. But the thing we see all the time is that if you are having to add different tidbits and different things to your dog's food, your dog is likely going to develop a sense of pickiness and a sense of fussiness, and they are going to go for this wet food or this topper before anything else, and maybe even leave the food. So if your dog is prone to being picky, and if you are having to add any extra bits to your dog's food, what you need to do is be strict and remove any toppers and remove any perceived reward things that you might be adding to your dog's food. Be strict, give them a bit of tough love, and you will actually be a lot better off for it. Now, there are many things you need to do correctly in order to make your own dog food, and in our opinion, you should always follow the whole prey ratios. You see, if your dog caught something in the wild, say a small mammal, they would eat roughly 80-10-10. They would eat 80% meat, 10% offal, of which 5% is liver, and 10% would be bone, and they would eat absolutely everything: the tongue, the spleen, the eyes, the fur, the beak, whatever the case might be. They would eat the whole prey, hence the term whole prey ratios. Now, it is believed that if your dog ate a small mammal, they would also eat the contents of the stomach within the small mammal, and that would comprise roughly 3 to 5% of their diet, and these would be fermented vegetables. These would be fermented and pureed and processed vegetables, hence why we do not like seeing raw vegetables in your dog's food, because even though they can sometimes digest certain starches, we don't want to provide them with anything that's going to be hard for them to digest. Now, this topic is so big and complex that it needs a separate video, and we have put together a step-by-step guide on raw food and what it means and how to do it correctly. And I see that so many of you could be doing things a lot better. And so if you are really curious and want to know more, I highly encourage you to watch this video next, because you are going to learn a lot more. Now, if you have made it to the end of the video, please comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.